Hello and welcome. Today, because of my constant ponderings and wonderings, after years spending many hours reading books and listening to interviews of the late legendary Bruce Lee, and also as a hardcore fan of Bruce, watching his movies, even the ones of the clones, I posed myself a couple of questions. With all that information obtained about Bruce Lee, one, how could I use all of that information obtained in my personal life as a help to achieve all I set myself, i.e. goals, plans, purpose, wise, in order to get all I want, desire from the world? Two, how could I duplicate that which Bruce wrote and left all, so I can truly be successful in all my aspirations, goals, dreams, reaches, etc. And developing my own discovered form of self-expression. I believed that I first needed to know exactly what it was I wanted to be or become successful in or at, or even to be my best at, or even better, be better than anyone else at. I determined that I had to know. We put a lot of emphasis on the word know, K-N-O-W, exactly what that thing was that I wanted to be successful in. I came to realise this by writing my thoughts, my ideas in a diary or journal, that I wanted to be successful in three major fields or genres, these being fitness, nutrition, health, and all related to that. Two, computers, that came at a later date, were inspired by two homeschooled students from Malaysia that were here, Chinese and Malaysian. And the religions, chiefly the top three organised, the most popular, Judaism, modern Christianity, and Islam. I also wanted to be financially secure, be a problem solver, helping others with their life problems and providing solutions for them. So I eventually stumbled on the idea of creating a couple of YouTube channels. I actually created three or more YouTube channels, two of which have relative successes, thanks to those who took the time to look at our channel and become loyal subscribers, and also those who didn't but took their time to look at our content. So I determined through these, as I could see their slow successes, that they were exactly where my natural talents lay, and I accumulated the necessary skills over time through trial and error, testings, and most of all personal research, study, and personal experiences. And this could be why they rapidly started to go from 0 subscribers for 6 months to 231 or something like that, or 76 or whatever, depending on which YouTube channel we're talking about, we're referring to. Okay, so I realised at some point I'd have to be tougher on myself, more disciplined. I'd need to strive continually to be first driven in order to be motivated, be inspired constantly, daily, on a second, minute, hour, daily basis. By doing my own personal research through reading various books, philosophies, both Western and Eastern, effective self-help methods, motivational books by top experts, and so forth. Then apply all of their techniques or methods by taking action, because without action it's just all theory, isn't it? It's all pointless writings in a book or a journal. or diary. Then refining them where needed, if needed. I had to adopt a new mindset, a drive. I had to find my drive, a passion, right? Then I had to find my drive, and then my motivation, and keep looking for inspiration to succeed in all I set myself. And I had to succeed in all I set myself. I had to want it, right? More than I needed air, more than I need air to breathe, as such. I had to rid myself of bad, worthless habits, addictions, manage my free time available more efficiently or much better. I personally abhor failure, as I am a problematic perfectionist. I'm actually a problematic perfectionist. Perfectionism can be problematic, but I'm also the world's greatest procrastinator on the planet. I had to look at and utilise affirmations such as I am in control, I am the master, I'll be the victor, etc. Some great, some zany motivational methods, some just plain crazy, but hopefully they worked. So I came up with this analogy of late. I must see myself as a phoenix, that mythical bird that rises from the ashes, spreads its wings and soars to great heights. I will no longer be that grounded quail who has its wings clipped, or that kiwi bird that has its wings clipped as dictated by others, must be done. That I must be like them because they are like the quail. A wingless bird, forever grounded, dreaming of flying high to greater levels, saddened, with no hope because it can only dream so, that it can fly to those great heights, and it becomes complacent till its demise, till it dies, right? Okay. Okay, we've written 2 lots of notes here, so I'll just run through this again. The second time you might sink into your subconscious and stick in your mind there, right? Today, because of my ponderings and wanderings, after years spending many hours reading books and listening to interviews of late legendary Bruce Lee, and as a hardcore fan of Bruce, watching his movies, even the ones of the clones, I posed myself some questions. With all that information obtained about Bruce, one, how could I use all that information obtained in my personal life as a help to achieving all I set myself, i.e. goals, plans, purpose-wise, in order to get all that I want, desire from the world. 2, how could I duplicate that which Bruce wrote and left all so I can truly be successful in all my dreams, features, etc. that I set myself. Developing my own discovered form of self-expression. I felt, no, let me rephrase that. I began to believe that I first needed to know exactly, big emphasis on know, K-N-O-W, exactly what it was I wanted to be or become successful in or at, or even to be my best at, or better yet, be better than anyone else at that particular genre or field. I determined that I had to know, K-N-O-W, exactly what that thing was I wanted to succeed in. I came to realise when I wrote in a diary, a journal, that I wanted to succeed in 3 major fields or genres. 1, fitness, nutrition, health, etc., all related to that. 2, computers, that came at a later date, were inspired by 2 Malaysian friends. And 3, the religions, chiefly the top 3 organised religions, Judaism, modern Christianity and Islam, paganism, etc. later on, the other religions later on. I'm going to get around to it. But I first must master those 3 organised religions, Christianity, Judaism and Islam. So I eventually created 3 or more YouTube channels, 2 of which have relative successes. So I determined through these that they were exactly where my natural talents lay as they started to grow, right? They went from 0 subscribers to 76, another one to 230 something, and now this one that's getting a lot of views, okay, and I've accumulated a few subscribers. Shout out to them all. those who first stayed loyal with us when we created this, A Body by Bruce. Okay, even though we didn't add much to it for 6 months to a year. And also those who looked at our channel of late, and those who subscribed and pushed up our views immensely. You are much appreciated. Okay, so again, I determined through these YouTube channels that they were exactly where my natural talents lay, and I accumulated the necessary skills through trial and error testings, and most of all personal research, study and personal experience. I'm still learning because I'm on a Linux system and I'm not a Linux nerd with glasses and pens in his pocket, so I still am in a learning process. Isn't life continually that, a learning process? You can never learn anything or everything, sorry, but yeah, you learn things over time, don't you? Okay, so where do we leave off? Okay, so through experiences, we've learned a lot. We feel that experiences are great, they are essential, they reveal you the truth about things and give you awesome insight into what's wrong, what's right, what's good or what's bad, the mistakes or errors of others that others have committed and have made, and how you can prevent yourself from committing those same mistakes and go through the same sufferings as they did, the same consequences, right, for mistakes, failures or wrong actions. Okay, I, in short, had to differentiate between what really works and what doesn't, what is true and what is total fiction. Illusion, delusion, defies basic logic, common sense and reality. I had to get off the planet of phantasmal and come back down to earth and strive to stay in the reality, i.e. the today, the moment, now, or the here and now. Okay, I came across Bruce's suggestions of writing, setting definite goals, definite plans, steps to success you know that you can achieve with a definite purpose and aim in mind, and you've got to have that end result, in mind. Creating affirmations, putting all into a pocket-sized notebook, which I'd carry everywhere on my person, in my pocket or bag or something like that. I'd rather have it on me in my pocket, so I know exactly where it is. I would then have to waterproof it, put it in a plastic bag to stop it from getting wet if out and about, because I have a little job that I do during the day. And it poured down with rain, and I got soaked. And also to write or add all to another notebook as a backup copy if I ever lost the original. It's one time I left the journal on a front bench while ordering a burger and chips or something in our local city. I walked away probably about 5 or 6 steps and I realised, oh geez, I left my journal on the bench. I went back to get it, and I strongly believe that there's no other customer that came up, right? Someone might have snuck past and took it while these people weren't looking, but they said, oh no, we never saw it. Yeah, so I wasn't too sure about that. Yeah, had my suspicions, but what could I do? Just basically had goals and affirmations and no addresses or phone numbers or anything like that, which was quite lucky. Yeah, some people, I was working at a job cleaning tables. There was the lunch bar or Chinese, Asian, takeaway type setup in front of me. It had these 2 tables here. So someone came behind me and put a bag down, right? So I sort of stepped aside as disrespect, right? And I carried on doing my job, cleaning these tables, because I was working in a restaurant type setting, right? As a cleaner and all that sort of stuff. And apparently this lady put a bag there, right? So I carried on with my job as I said. And then she come back. The lady that's doing the Chinese meals or whatever, chicken and fries or whatever in front of me, right, was there, but she was probably too busy, didn't have her eyes on the table, right? This lady went to the toilet, left her bag there. She came back and said, have you seen my bag? I said, oh no, I didn't even, I saw a bag there, but I was busy doing this table, so I thought maybe he came and picked it up, right? But she says, no, someone's stolen my bag. And I went, oh my gosh, this person must have walked past, because he had like big glass windows, right? Seen it, and somehow sneaked in really fast, snatched his bag and took off, right? Because he looked outside and he couldn't see anyone. So yeah, there's people like that. Another time in the library, a young woman, probably about 20ish or something like that, pretty little thing. She put her bag next to me. I had a suede jacket, right? So I moved up. You don't want anyone to pinch that, because I really liked it, eh? It's all fluffy and all that sort of stuff. And she put her bag down there, must have went to the toilet as well. I come back and, somebody came up beside me, but I was too busy reading it. I just moved my jacket. And they must have picked up this bag, right? And took off with it. And she comes back and same thing sort of happened. Oh, I put my bag here. Did you see who took it? No, I thought you did. Right? So she went to complain to the security guard, who I actually knew, well, I didn't know that well, from school days, right? And he started accusing me. Did I stole it? Did I set it up? I says, nah, man. Come on, man. Right? Somebody snuck in and stole it and took off. Yeah, that's what people do, right? They have no respect for anyone. Yeah. You can say, oh, it's opportunity, it's, they probably need it, all that sort of stuff. That's just an excuse. Thievery is thievery, right? And that's sly. Anyway, so I really had to, in short, differentiate between what really works and what doesn't, what is true and what is total fiction, illusion, delusion, defies basic logic, common sense and reality. I had to get off the planet of phantasmal and come back down to earth and strive to stay in the reality, i.e. the today, the moment right now, or the here and now. Okay, I came across Bruce's suggestions of writing, setting definite goals, definite plans, steps to success with a definite purpose, aim in mind. Creating affirmations, putting all into a pocket-sized notebook, which I'd carry everywhere on my person. I would waterproof it, put it in a plastic bag to stop it from getting wet, as we're in a rainy country. It's worse than England, apparently. Well, pretty much the same. If out and about and it poured down with rain, I got soaked. Okay, then obviously the notebook might get soaked. And also to write or create another notebook as a backup if I ever lost the original one. Okay, and it gave you the story related to how easy it is to lose things or get things stolen right under your nose. Okay, I also came to, thanks to Tony Robbins, I guess, in his book Unlimited Power, or Your Power Within, or whatever it was at the time that I was reading. I created an ultimate do or die method. Let's use an example. If I bought coffee, I'd create an affirmation to be viewed in bold red ink. Read as this goes to the memory, embeds itself deep in the subconscious, and is easier recalled when needed. It's a different person's method. But the Tony Robbins one was basically, if you set yourself some plans, goals, or whatever, you have to create a payback or consequence for failure to overcome, say, that bad habit. You are addicted to caffeine, coffee, etc. Right? The trouble with coffee is it's a diuretic, might give you the poops, it might speed up your heart, retain water, whatever these top experts claim. Some say, oh, it's great. Some say, oh, nah, it speeds up your heart, all this sort of stuff. Right? I just came to the realization over time that, it tastes like crap, right? Yuck, it tastes horrible. So I try to find a way. Now this is an example, right? I try to find a way to get rid of my coffee addiction, because I found that looking at people on the street ordering coffees at those coffee kiosks or whatever, right? They're not buying like small size cups, right? They're buying like big 6 foot looking things, right? Because their addiction, the caffeine needs to be stronger. They need more of it, right? They have their energy, etc., like that. And it's also in those drink sachets you get in the supermarkets and stuff with the drinks, right? It's all there to speed up the heart, possibly give you that adrenaline, the energy, etc. Then maybe you'll crash, and wonder why you're always tired and listless and sleepy and can't concentrate and all that sort of stuff. Still looking at that. So I'd create an affirmation, right? I do not drink coffee, and I'd say it all day, every day, 3 times a day, and probably out loud before I go to bed. Right? And every time I look at coffee, I'd say it again, or I was tempted, whatever. I do not drink coffee. I do not drink coffee with milk and sugar. Okay? Etc., etc. And then I'd go find something like, what's his name? Paul McKenna, who has those hypnotism programs. I will break your bad habits, or you won't drink coffee anymore, but you're going over and over hypnotising yourself, and vocally or mentally, following along with him, right? And you're going, oh, yuck, tastes like this, it tastes like mud, whatever, right? 7 days later, you should be free of the need for gulping down lots of coffee, sugar, and milk. So yeah, this Tony Robbins idea was that if you really wanted to lose weight, you would write on a A4 size paper a public declaration, a personal declaration, sorry, first of all, okay, and you'd say, I, whatever your name is, hereby declare by a certain date, a fixed date, give yourself a week, ease into it, Sometimes, if you can do it like the next day, or a couple of days later, well, put it into effect, well, that's great. So you put on there, I, so-and-so, your name, whatever, right? I will give up coffee, I will no longer drink coffee from this date forward, right? And etc., etc. Keep it short, right? And then you sign it, say, I hereby, being an honest person, declare this, right? And there's consequences that if I fail to stop drinking coffee or etc., whatever, you've signed that, which is a test that you'll go through this subtle karmic payback, if you want to call it that, right? Which would be something like, well, I'd have to consume one 70-gram can of cat or dog food, right? Determine which one it is. Put a dog food can up on your fridge or something, somewhere you can see it all the time to remind you of it, right? And then if you fail, well, you with this public personal declaration, right? This is personally for you, so keep it by your bedside, right? So you can get up and read it every day to remind you, right? But you create a public one as well. It's exactly the same writing, declaration, right? And you sign it, have a fixed date, all that sort of stuff. And you put it in the kitchen where everyone else can see it, like your family, friends, neighbours, whatever, right? They come over, strangers, and they can hold you, if they're truly, you say your family or your friends are truly your friends, they will remind you constantly, hey, are you sticking to your promise? And if you fail, after a set period of time, then they can say, well, eat up, boy, enjoy your dog or your cat food, right? Here you go. And they can spoon feed it to you. They'd love that, right? Because as we said, if they're true friends, they'd keep you to it, right? So you don't wiggle out of it. Okay. Yeah, it only works if you write it and you apply it, and you read it every day. Okay. Yeah, it's just a suggestion, okay, but it works. Okay, so you have a personal declaration and a public declaration. You put it up on your wall, right? You've signed it, attested to it, all that sort of stuff. Okay. Yeah, this method is extremely effective, but only works if you see it every day, all day, read it all day, every day, and come to realise there will be consequences for your failure, right? Or failure on your behalf. Yeah. In regards to affirmations, by reading affirmations, I am embedding all to memory, to the subconscious mind, etc. I then needed to find a working method to rid myself of any bad habits, such as procrastination, etc. As I am the world's greatest procrastinator, so I found and read Og Mandino's, kind of zany name, right? Kind of weird name, Og. Who names his child Og? Og Mandino's greatest secrets in the world. Scroll 1, month 1. We can provide the link to that video as the end screen, etc. It's the only way to rid myself of bad habits, to replace them with better or good habits. This method works really well if you commit to reading the scrolls 3 times a day in a loud voice before you go to bed. Okay, that's the only way that works, but it does work. If you go on a vacation, you can stop where you left off on that certain scroll, be it scroll 1, month 1. And when you come back, you can go start off from, or carry on from where you left off. Okay. And in regards to Bruce Lee and what I've written or put in this video, what I've just mentioned, is simplified and easy steps. 1. Know exactly what it is you want to be or become or be successful in or at. You must determine exactly what it is. Okay? Don't have these fantasies, illusions, oh, I'm going to be this and that, to impress the ladies or impress your family and friends, and you don't back it up, right? Because they'll come at you and say, oh, you just talk, bro. You're all caca. Okay. 2. Do personal research, study, gather information, and determine what works and what is just nonsense. Look at many who have succeeded via their personal writings, like Western philosophy, Eastern philosophy. They've succeeded with their detailing their life experience, how they succeeded or come to some sort of realization, etc. Self-help gurus like Napoleon Hill, Vincent Peale, Rene Descartes, Plato, Socrates, and others. Sift through all and then adopt and adapt if needed, tweak it if needed, and then make it your very own. Okay. Use logic, common sense, stay in the reality, which is this moment. The moment is now, or the moment you're in, the here and now. Learn to focus, concentrate on one task at a time, and master it. Complete it. Master it. Find inspiration, etc. Use visualization, imagination to see you on your journey. Every step of the way, having an end outcome in mind. You must want what you want more than breath itself. And you must be tough on yourself. You must discipline yourself. You must want all you set yourself and be totally determined to get it all. Remember the naysayers. If you want it, you can have it. You just got to work at it. You got to action it. You got to put effort into it. If you fail, try again. Have a subtle method. If you fail, to reprove yourself. Don't, under any circumstances, resort to bodily harm. Okay, we're not indicating that. And keep in mind that failure is another opportunity, a chance to do all over again, but this time get it right. So if you like this video, please give us a like, subscribe us to